Listen, I don't want any more bullshit.
What's up, bullshit free gang? It's your man, Harkana Jala, a.k.a. the Bad Boy Genius at your motherfucking service. As always, I want to welcome you to the Bullshit Free Colts podcast, special edition. Obviously, you probably heard by now that Sam Ehlinger will be taking over as the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. Effective immediately, he will be the starter when they play Washington this Sunday. And Matt Ryan has a separated shoulder, so he's inactive. He may be out a couple of weeks, but they made it clear, Frank Reich made it clear, sounding like a hostage reading off a prepared statement, that they would have made the change whether Ryan was hurt or not, and that Ehlinger is going to be the starter. It's not just like for a week or so. Ehlinger is going to be the starter for the rest of the season. So they're going to give Ehlinger 10 games. And listen, look, this offensive line is trash, no doubt about it. Matt Ryan was not the main problem. You know, I've been saying that for weeks. But you might be surprised to hear me say, I think this is the right move. It is the logical move. After they lost that game yesterday, this is the logical move, and it's the right move, and I'm going to tell you why. Number one, Matt Ryan was not the main problem. The offensive line was. That being said, I mean, we can't really cry boo-hoo tears for Matt Ryan, because the truth of the matter is, whatever the cause, he did fumble 10, 11 times and threw 9 interceptions or something like that, right? It is what it is. He's a big boy. When you're the starting quarterback, if you do that in 7 games, your job's going to be in jeopardy, right? I mean, you're going to be on thin ice. He's getting paid plenty of money, like $30 million or whatever this year. He'll be fine. That being said, I think Matt Ryan was good enough to take this team deep in the playoffs. However, in order to do it, he needs to have a capable offensive line. Doesn't have to be the best offensive line in the game, but it needs to be a capable offensive line. An offensive line that's at least playing average, just to give him enough time to deal. Here's the truth, and this is why I think this makes sense. One of the reasons. The truth of the matter is, this Colts offensive line is still playing like trash. They're not going to be great this year. If they're going to become better, it's going to be through working together over several weeks. That's going to take time. And so let's say it takes them 3 to 5 more games before they're all in sync and they're playing as one, and then suddenly they're playing decent, okay? Even if that's the case, we're going to see more of what we saw over the next 3 to 5 games. Maybe you win 2, maybe you win 3, and you're 6-5 or whatever it is. Or you win 2 and you're 5-7, 5-6, whatever. The point is, we probably were going to see more of what we were going to see, and we were going to be cruising along towards a 7-10 season, 7-9-1, 8-8-1, something like that. Probably missing the playoffs. And if we were by some chance able to sneak into the playoffs, okay, probably not going to be good enough to do anything. Not with that offensive line. So, at this point, that being the case being that you lost the game in Nashville yesterday, you lost to the Titans. If they'd won that game, I think this is a different conversation. But by losing that game, okay, you're now guaranteed a losing record in the division. Maybe you could beat Houston again. If you beat Houston, then you'd have a 2-4 record in the division. But they have almost no chance of winning the division now, which is a primary goal. That would guarantee them a way into the playoffs, the secondary goal. They have very little chance of winning the division. It would take a complete collapse by Tennessee and a complete turnaround by the Colts, where they have to go on a run and win 6, 7, 8 in a row. It's not likely. If they don't win the division, they probably won't make the playoffs. So what are we doing here? What are we playing for this season? So if you're Jim Irsay, you realize, like everybody else, even if Matt Ryan played fantastic and the line was playing great and you won a Super Bowl this year, You're only going to have him for another year. So we knew he was a short-term stopgap solution. You have to get your quarterback of the future. You have to go out and find him. They tell me that this draft is going to be loaded at quarterback in a way that drafts haven't been in who knows how long. Now, look, that may very well be, but who knows how many of them actually turn out to be any good. But on paper, you just make the best decision you can. And if you're the Colts, you do what you have to do to move up if you have to, if there's a guy there that you believe is the guy. So whatever the case, they got to make a play for their quarterback of the future in the draft this year. So let's suspend disbelief. Because here's the thing, everybody's talking about, well, Ehlinger's not the guy. We don't fucking know. None of us know. It's highly likely he's not the guy. It's highly unlikely he is the guy. But we've seen it at least a couple of times, right? We saw it with Tom Brady. We saw it with Russ Wilson. Russ Wilson was a 3rd-round draft pick. Kirk Cousins was a 4th-round draft pick. I mean, Kirk Cousins, he's just okay. But whatever the case, you get what I'm saying. Nobody knows with Ehlinger. What we do know is that he has some things that you look for in a franchise quarterback. He has great mobility. He's fast. He's athletic. He has that it factor. He has the intangibles. They say he's super smart. I'm assuming he can process information enough to learn how to go through his progressions. We shall see. I don't know if he has enough arm strength. It didn't look like he had a whole lot from seeing him in the preseason. He's not terrible, but, he doesn't have a cannon arm, that's for sure. Maybe he can work on that and get it better. We don't know. But again, we don't know. Just because he was drafted in the 6th round doesn't mean he can't be the guy. So, here's the thing. You put him in now, you know where you're going pretty much. Even if you put Matt Ryan back in there, you pretty much know where you're going. So, you may as well put Ehlinger in now and give him some time to play with the ones, give him some time to learn the offense and really grow into the game. And basically, you got 10 games to see if he might be the guy. At least you can find out if he is. And if he isn't, you're really not losing anything because the fans will just be excited, at least for a few weeks, that you made a change. They'll show up and be excited. And again, if he's just trash, okay, then you will end up better off because you'll lose more games this season. I mean, people may not like hearing it, but it is what it is. You'll lose more games this season, and instead of picking 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th in the draft, maybe you go 5-12, or maybe you go 6-11, and you draft in the top 10, and you're in position to pick your quarterback of the future if he's there, you hope. So, I mean, as crazy as it sounds, I've been telling you guys all season, the main problem is not Matt Ryan. The main problem is the O-line. It still is, but this is the right thing to do right now, I think, because, again, since you're going to have that offensive line, you may as well try a guy who has the skills and the abilities that may be able to let you get by with that offensive line. Maybe he can make some things happen that Matt Ryan obviously couldn't, because he can run the RPOs, he can move around in the pocket, you can move the pocket, you can roll him out, you can have design runs for him, he can take off and get himself out of trouble, he can take off and actually make plays with his legs if things break down, gives you another component, gives you somebody else you have to worry about, which frees things up for Jonathan Taylor somewhat, we would hope, and Nyheim Hines. Again, what do you have to lose at this point? Because it was pretty clear after that loss yesterday, pretty clear where the season was going. So, again, I'm all for it. And look, I'm not hoping Sam fails. I'm not so sure he's going to fail. I'm not so sure he's trash. I got a feeling, I have since the first time I saw him play, but especially in the preseason this year, he's got something. I got a feeling he's got something that might surprise people. And he could beat the odds, defy the odds, and be the next Tom Brady. Or maybe if not Tom Brady, the next Kirk Cousins, right? The next player who can ascend and become your QB of the future from the 6th round pick. Man, that would be great if he could. If he could, that would be fantastic. Then the Colts can continue to use their picks to build around him. He's on a very inexpensive rookie salary. So all we can do now is say, let's see. But I'm excited to see. Let's see what happens, what it looks like. At least we know we'll be seeing something different than what we've seen. Because what we've seen the first 7 weeks is not good enough. So, hey, Sam Ehlinger, if you're listening, bro, great luck to you, man. Welcome to the starting lineup. And if this is your first time listening to Sam, let me say directly to you, my friend, what I say every week. Let's win fucking games, and let's go out and win another fucking Lombardi, baby. Peace. And win another fucking Lombardi, baby. And win another fucking Lombardi, baby.